All right, it's official. It's official. On the 150th anniversary of Canada, Trudeau has made it absolutely clear that his Canada does not include the one province, well, actually one of the provinces, because Saskatchewan is another one, that did not kowtow to the Liberals. Trudeau's Canada does not include the province of Alberta. In a speech to the nation at the 150th anniversary in Ottawa, he very conveniently left out Alberta when naming the provinces in his speech. You can look it up for yourself. I don't really feel like listening to Trudeau's pansy little cupcake voice. I really don't. But this is a message, and this is not a small deal. This is a big friggin' deal. Not only is Alberta, I consider Alberta, along with Ontario, for that matter, the breadbasket of this country. They've provided so much money in equalization payments, mostly going to Quebec. So much wealth, so much economy, so many jobs, so much things, natural resources. I consider the breadbasket of Canada, especially Quebec. Quebec should be sending a big thank you letter to Alberta, because if it wasn't for Alberta, they would not have the balanced budget that they do right now, even though Quebec is one of the biggest provinces that attacks Alberta on a regular basis, and their oil and their gas pipelines and everything. Trudeau, it's not only a big deal because of that, but Trudeau is somebody who wants people to bow down to him. Like we're a bunch of serfs. He doesn't consider this a democracy. It's a serfdom run by his stinking family. And Trudeau after Trudeau after Trudeau is going to run for prime minister. And Alberta and Saskatchewan refused Trudeau. They did not vote for the Liberals. Most of them voted for the Conservatives. Trudeau didn't even win the election with a big electoral majority anyway. But Alberta really stood up to him, and he conveniently left him out because they have continued to stand up to him. That's dangerous for us to have a leader like that. Now, he can say he's sorry all he wants, but that, I believe, was very deliberate. He has shown his contempt, and his father showed contempt for Alberta, but he has shown contempt for Alberta even before he was prime minister, talking about, oh, well, I'm a Quebecer, so I obviously feel Quebec is the best. But he also went on to say that Canada doesn't do well when we have Albertans as prime minister. Excuse me, Stephen Harper was prime minister, and I'm not saying he was perfect, but we had the richest middle class on earth. We had many balanced budgets. We had very good economy, a lot of jobs coming in. So don't give me that little crybaby liberal bullshit about, oh, Albertans. Don't give me that anti-Harper bullshit. I will cut you down right there. But this country is in a lot of trouble right now. This 150th anniversary, I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, you know, Michael, I really don't even want to celebrate this year. There's nothing to be proud of. I don't feel it. I'm here to say that's not the right attitude to take. Because if we become complacent, this country is going to die. We are at a crossroads right now. We're either going to go down the path of destruction, or we are going to go down the path where we're going to have another 150 years, and it's going to be even better than the one that we had before. This country has so much to be proud of. We are a tough country. We have a lot of great history. We are a peaceful country. We're not afraid to stand up for ourselves. I mean, if you read the history, Canada has been rough. We've had to fight for our country, if you read our history, which a lot of people don't teach us in schools because they're too busy teaching us that there are more than two genders, that's for another time. But we're in trouble. We have a huge debt right now, which analysts are saying if we continue with the way we're doing under Trudeau, the debt's going to go to $1 trillion. You know what happens if we go into bankruptcy, which we are on the brink of right now? But if this country goes into bankruptcy, the country's finished. Just like Greece. Greece is not a country anymore. There is no such thing as the country of Greece, because Greece is another state of Germany. Because Greece went bankrupt and Germany was its debtor. And Germany now says, well, you're going bankrupt, we dictate to you now. The same thing could happen to Canada right now. Whoever our debtors are, it could be China, it could be anybody. It's probably China. We will be taken over by them if we go bankrupt. That's what happens if we continue with the way we're going. Not only that, but our freedoms are being taken away. Canadians can now be arrested, fined, or have our kids taken away if we don't believe in the lie of there are more than two genders. Can you imagine that? That's something that happens in North Korea. In fact, I don't even think that happens in North Korea, but it's happening here, and we have to fight that. We cannot allow our freedoms to be taken away, because freedom is one of the biggest identities of Canada. Trudeau says that that Canada is the first country without an identity. We're the post-cultural country, or whatever he said. That's a message that Trudeau's trying to destroy this country anyway. Trudeau wants Canada to be a country of the United Nations. That's what it is. That's why I'm saying, instead of being complacent on the 150th, which a lot of people are, we need to say, look, this is 150 years of Canada. We need to fight for another 150 years. We cannot let this country be destroyed by a brat who was a drama teacher. Nothing against drama teachers, but this guy thinks he is so great, and he's really nothing. He's never worked a day in his friggin' life. He's always had to focus and rely on dad's pension to survive. Now, our country is also in trouble because our people, we're a very self-sufficient people. We've always been like that. Canada's always been self-sufficient. You can take our house, you can take our heat, you can take our water, and we will still find a way to survive. But we are turning into a country that's being controlled by big government. Our government right now is on a mission to make as many people as possible reliant and controlled and dependent on government. The more people who are dependent on government, the more people who are out of work, the more people who are on welfare, the more control politicians have. And if they have the control, they can do whatever they want. They have us by the balls at that point, because we are indebted to them now. We are controlled by them now. And I believe with the fact that all these jobs are going overseas, we're having these bad trade deals. Our jobs, job creation is low right now, especially out west, especially out east, and outside of the GTA. Job creation is just bad right now. People can't afford to pay their bills right now. We are completely reliant on government, because now we have to go on welfare and all this other government stuff. And as a result, these politicians have more power. If this continues, we will turn into a country of serfs. That's not what Canada was created for. That's not what Sir John A. Macdonald and George Brown and all of our founding fathers sought for this country. We gotta fight for our countries, just like our forefathers did. We can either choose to be a bunch of dumbasses and sit in front of the television watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette and just not caring about anything outside of our own homes and outside of our own minds, or we can fight for this country so we could have another 150 years and have another 150 years that are even better than the ones that were before. Let's do it! Fight for Canada!